Hi there, everybody. How's it going? We'll lower the sound there just a little bit. All right. I hope that you're all well. I'm doing a bit better. At least my voice is back. So... yeah. I am feeling better. At least I'm not lying on the bed and like half dead. It's weird being sick. It's like something that occurs to me like once a year. And it's usually because of like some infection that I've gotten for somebody else. Hey there, Rory. But I'm good. The voice is back so I can record some more stuff. And of course also live stream like I'm doing right now. Hey, Commissar. How's the weather in San Francisco? Oh, no, sorry. SA. No, that's Saudi Arabia. Well, that's even better. I hope. All right. Whoa. We have video here from Giguk. I want to start with some anime stuff because we just saw, at least I just saw, something that actually my girlfriend linked to me, that bloody Funimation was shutting down, so gotta figure out where I am supposed to have my subscription service aside from Crunchyroll. So I think that this is going to be the thing that I want to start doing first. So we're gonna do a little bit of anime now. Okay, so it's interesting. I have watched Solo Leveling, and I did record some reactions for it. I am just not sure if it is actually something that some of you will care to watch. So I haven't bothered editing them at all. But I have up till episode 4. The 5th is out now, so I'll be watching it as well very soon. But didn't because of sickness, obviously. Hey there, Janice. Oh, thank God the Pooh Man isn't there. That's a good catch. All right, well then, I guess I will be I'll be editing some Solo Leveling content then. And I did watch Lemino as well. Editing it soon. Tomorrow will be the oversimplified videos. I know that some have been asking for them a lot. Thanks. But those didn't come out because of the unfortunate scenario that was, what do you call it? There was a third party that is supposedly representing Oversimplified, but it's actually not something that he's affiliated with. So they keep on sending copyright strikes to channels who react to Oversimplified. So I kind of had to appeal to those videos and wait to see what happened. But then I'm just going to release them anyways because I don't want to wait, and it's also wasting you guys' time waiting for it. So they'll come out tomorrow in like sessions. But I need a green cardigan. Why so? Don't you like the green? The gray, sorry. No, that in there is a guitar. Actually, I am supposed to donate it away. It's an old one. I don't use it at all. Open. It's pretty basic, so. Oh, for the green screen, I see. You want me to be a floating head? We can do that. I can definitely pick one. Alright, I think that we should just jump straight into it. There's some SCP stuff, Internet Historian, as well as some anime stuff. But I want to talk about the Crunchyroll situation in a bit, but let's watch some anime first. All right, here we go.
Well, it's that time again. Another year has passed us by, and with it has gone another year of anime. We got good shows, we got bad shows, but the real question is, what are the moments that are going to be remembered? 2023 was a year dominated by absolute heavyweight shows just completely taking over. Anime seemed inescapable whether you were a fan or not. Successful live-action adaptations, legendary series coming to an end, memes, so many memes. It feels like the influence of a handful of shows have truly seeped into mainstream pop culture and only continues to grow from there. But there were still some other things happening around our little sphere. Anime fans continue to find any opportunity to complain about CG. This time even Demon Slayer was catching strays, with viewers complaining about how these fishes look like an absolute joke. How dare—
Yeah, this was the year of complaints. We had plenty of those. From Jujutsu Kaisen to Chainsaw Man. This, just about every show that came out just had an issue with CG. Which, again, is like, I understand that people like to like hike down harsh on it, but you also have to take into account the workload that the animators are exposed to. If they don't make use of these techniques, then you have to wait like a year before you get to your show. Will Oversimplify do a video on the South African War? I don't know, perhaps.
any animation studio consider this acceptable quality, they cried. Meanwhile, in Isekai land, this is what peak CGI looks like.
Okay, well, we're back to the goose thing there. the last video that we watched from Gigok with the animation there. No. This is bad. Okay, this is the thing that is worth complaining about. That is nasty.
Togashi drew 2 lines and got 44 million views, 400k likes, and 100,000 retweets. Meanwhile, I'm out here drawing at least 8 lines, and I'm still waiting for Shonen Jump to hit me up with that manga deal. One Piece defied all odds by giving us a live-action adaptation that didn't suck, while the Jujutsu Kaisen fanbase came together to collectively say, nah, I'd win. Which is what I think they say when they enter a contest of who can more effectively spoil their fucking series. But they would probably win against this random dude from Mashal.
I'm Rhodes Amos!
I mean, look at him. He lasted like 2 seconds. Who the hell would play a character like that?
Mashal was amazing. It was one of the best shows that I've ever seen. Yo, Harry Potter with pure brawn. That is the best concept. I freaking love that show.
It's probably some dumbass hack. For real though, it's been 10 years now since I've been doing these yearly anime recaps. I have gone through a bloody decade of anime, and a lot has changed during that time. I can only imagine the wild things that were happening in 2013 back then.
Hold on. What are you saying? According to the series creator, the bad CG was actually intentional. Well, I'll be damned. That's a new one. It's like the response from the guys who made what's it called? The Day Before. Just more casual. The guys who said, well, shit happens. He just said, no, actually we're meant to make something bad.
Miyazaki finishes his latest feature film, The Wind Rises, just before announcing his retirement from filmmaking at the ripe young age of about 197 years old. So that was a fucking lie. There are a lot of shows that didn't make my list this year. Not because they weren't good, but because I didn't have much to say about them other than it was good. Hell's Paradise was fun, so was Mashal, so was Undead Unluck. One day I'm sure the West will appreciate Uma Musume as much as Asia does. Today is not that day. Mushoku Tensei continued my favorite isekai story of all time by having its main character go,
I cannot get it up.
People have been trashing Rudy left, right and center, but I think he's proved he's a real gentleman by showing that he never, ever raises his sword at a girl. Alright, let's get to my favorite shows of the year. But before we do, a quick word from my sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering a box of awesome top shelf good from under the radar brands. Every month they introduce their members to cool new products based on a preference quiz they fill out. They've got awesome clothes, cool stuff for your house, camping and cooking gear. Basically just high quality stuff in every category. 90% of their products come from small brands based right in the US. They now offer a new membership program where you can get really great deals all year round. I'm talking 30% off or more sometimes, and it's totally free to join. You can also preview your membership right before it's sent. You can decide if you want to keep it, swap it out for other products, or skip this.
Mushoku Tensei is something else.
You only pay what you want.
Only distinguished gentlemen watch that show. Hey there, Declan. Thank you for being here.
Spicy food in Japan for so much. It's so hard to find good spicy food here. So you know what? I'll just make it myself. They also sent me that checkmate box with this really cool chess set and scorecards. Exactly what I need to remind myself of my chess victory over Connor. To get a free mystery gift with your first membership purchase, just click that link in the description and enter GigUpGift at the checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/GigUpGift. Thanks to Bespoke Post for the sponsor. And now, back to the video.
Blam.
The zombie genre is probably one of the most saturated and overdone genres you can find in any entertainment medium. About 10 years ago, yet somehow
I did not catch this show. It's quite unfortunate. I didn't have time, and I perhaps should have spent some more time reading to stuff, but I had such a migraine, so I tried to catch on shows in the last week, but I just couldn't. I ended up reading books instead, which is a positive, but that's not exactly what you want to do when you feel like your backlog is like full.
Now in 2023, we still got an entirely fresh and original take on it in Zom 100. Zom 100 tells the sad story of Mappa employees. Overworked and undervalued by the company overlords that run their lives, it takes an entire zombie apocalypse for Akira Tender to start living the life he should have.
Yeah.
This show felt like a personal call-out for anyone who's ever worked a dead-end job in their lives and has daydreamed of something, anything happening to take away their responsibility out of their hands, even if that thing is the end of the world. Akira personifies that feeling of pure freedom we all secretly wish we had. That feeling that breaks the shackle of responsibility, of having to go to work, of having to wake up for school the next day. Eren Yeager looks at him and goes, fuck that guy, which is embodied in one of the most impressive opening episodes all year, where you could feel that every single person working on it channeled their passionate hatred of all the previous employers that had ever wronged them. Unfortunately, it felt like a lot of the hype got taken away, largely due to episode release releases being plagued with constant delays because of time slots and supposed production issues. Oh, hey, would you look at that?
The
Even though
irony.
the show lost some steam as it went
Indeed.
on and was tonally a bit all over the place at times, it was still a fun little show I think anyone could enjoy, because in this day and age where it feels like people are fighting tooth and nail just to survive, I think a lot of us could use a story about one man reminding us all how to live.
Oh. Sounds like a good show. Should watch that. Well.
The most respected genre in anime, but this year we saw the 100 girlfriends who love you come along.
Oh boy. Here we go. This was the guy. The guy who had to date 100 girls. Peak fanfiction here. I was watching 10 animals you definitely forgot about because it's just past 3 a.m., okay? Well, this is not those animals, but welcome.
And personally made sure that it never will be. This is the story of a man who got rejected so many times, who had such negative riz. God took pity and gave him 100 different girls he had to date or they'd all die. This was like watching someone dying of thirst in the desert, and then God goes, all right, I've got a solution. I'm listening. Just fucking drown him. But what God didn't plan for is that he chose someone who could chug the ocean dry and still have room for more. 100 Girlfriends has a concept so dumb, it will need to be as batshit crazy as its own premise to even have a chance at making it work. And that's exactly why it does. It's stupid, it's unhinged, it knows exactly how insane it is, and then runs with it 10 kilometers past where it needed to go. By all means, this show shouldn't have worked if we didn't have the greatest harem protagonist to bring it all together. Yes, we were Grace with the apex of boyfriends, the partner she tells you not to worry about. He may look like the most unthreatening guy possible, but watch him be like, don't worry, I come in peace. Hi, what's your name?
Peace.
It's rare for me to laugh at a comedy anime, and even
Okay, that was good. That was a very good joke. Oh my god. I come in peace. What's your name? Peace. Well, I'll be damned.
even rarer when it comes to lowbrow harem rom-coms, but 100 Girlfriends was a showcase of how to do a parody correctly. Reinforced by Biberi Animation Studio doing a bang-up job selling all of these jokes in the anime adaptation. They went above and beyond, and I can't wait to see how they adapt the manga beyond the whoa, wait, what? Why are you all running away?
Okay, that's nasty. Bro, no. Year by year, we stray further away from God. I don't know if you're referring to the clip that we just saw here or the actual animation. It could be both, though. After this, we're watching some Internet Historian, and afterwards, there is a video that's been requested from me from the File Electrician that I also have in store. I haven't checked his videos in a while, so I think it'd be a good palette cleanser for something completely different. Alright, let's keep going. For the many people who complained about CG, here's an example of how to use it to perfection. Stampede was amazing. How do monster girls even walk around? Oh, not monster girls, but well-endowed women walk around like that. Well, they defy the laws of physics. It's simple as that. Jiggle physics have something different on their own. They are not based on any conventional science known to man. I hope that explains it.
Minds of anime fans, 3D animation comes in two tiers. There's the Berserk 2016 tier, a show so disastrous it has scarred the anime community from 3D anime to this day. And then there's this, the aesthetic that looks like one of those games I apparently went the last 5 seconds playing.
So
the real
good.
ones know though that Studio Orange has been out here creating their own tier. Every project they seem to continually push themselves, one-up themselves, and Trigun Stampede is their best looking show yet. Not just with some of the jaw-dropping action sequences and camera work, but small micro expressions and camera animation that give their work just just a bit more life. They are still continuing to push the boundary of what is possible in a 3D anime in every way possible. When I got the lucky opportunity to talk to a producer at Studio Orange, they called themselves the hentai of the anime industry, and
Okay. Okay.
And, well, that's pretty accurate, because what they've done with Trigun Stampede has got me bricked up. Alright, but how's the show? Trigun is one of the most beloved anime from the old school Adult Swim era, and when you take on the mantle of rebooting a franchise like this, you always have to contend with picky fans comparing each and every little change in detail. Vash's bounty is way smaller, he has a different haircut, different gun, character designs that looked like this, now look like this. Huh, now where have I seen this aesthetic before? Oh. The spaghetti western feel takes a backseat to fully flesh out a hard sci-fi story. It's more dark, more gritty. One of my favorite things from the original being Vash and Wolfwood's epic buddy cop dynamic feels
it was
a tad more intense.
jovial.
I'll skin you alive and play with your bones until you're begging to die.
Well,
Got
damn.
that straight. Wolfwood.
Make no mistake, this is an entirely new Trigun, but one thing I can always respect is when a reboot tries to do something different that the original didn't
those
already
iconic
do.
guns.
By the end of the season, it becomes abundantly clear what all these changes were leading up to, and goddamn did it leave me wanting more. In a time where I feel like we're getting starved of good, hard science fiction anime, this has to be one of the most unique and interesting sci-fi worlds we've seen in years. And I honestly think the way things are set up, it has the chance to do even more than the original did if it gets future seasons.
I really wish that he will mention the Robot Boy anime that came out this year. Was not called Robot Boy though. And the worst part of it is that I watched it so long ago that I have forgotten the title of it. But it's essentially a derivative work from the guy who made Monster. Monster, for those of you who do not know, is one of the most critically acclaimed animes that should basically be the type that get adaptations because they are so easy to make. There are no supernatural effects in there. It's just a psychological thriller about a doctor and one of his patients that's been haunting him for years, who may or may not have caused him to commit several crimes, amongst one which is a killing that he is hunted for. But Pluto, thank you very much, Pluto. Pluto, that anime adaptation was amazing, but nobody, beside the ones who are pointing it right now here in chat, watched it. It deserves so much better. Pluto was amazing. And hopefully he mentions that here in the list. But yeah, it's one of those that also made use of 3D in some elements there, but mostly 2D. But it was very good. Monster is an acquired taste. I understand that you will find it boring. Like, you really need to be like the type who is invested into this type of things. But that's my jam. I'm literally a Conan Doyle fan. Like, example, let me see here. The latest game that I have installed. Check this out. The latest game that I have installed is nothing else but Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Those games are bad, but I like those crime thrillers. So yeah, that's my shit.
When people remember Trigun, they say, oh yeah, Trigun. I freaking loved Trigun. But if you ask them before that what they recommended we go back and watch, Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Alchemist, Trigun has always been on that second or third echelon of recommendations behind the classics. And I fully believe that with what Studio Orange have set up with this season, it has the potential to go up to this tier.
Oh no, it's not the one with the Eldridge Watson. That's not the one. It's something else. This one is a bit more jovial. It doesn't get into supernatural territory just yet.
There were few anime last year that exploded onto the scene as fast as Oshinoko did. Our hearts were torn to shred in a tragic 90-minute opening episode. A new meta was formed as anime companies saw the feature-length opening premiere and said, wait, you can do that?
It's free real
estate.
The opening song became the very first Japanese song to top the global Billboard 100 charts. The people of my anime list came together and went, "Fuck you, Fullmetal Alchemist! This is the greatest anime ever made!" Then, everyone remembered there was an entire rest of the show you needed to watch. Describing the plot of Oshinoko is like, alright, so there's a doctor who's a huge fan of this one idol, then and it turns out the idol he likes shows up at the hospital, but then it turns out he gets born as that, but then crazy fan comes back and murders their girl as well, and it's maybe the...
Okay, so for clarification, this is getting chaotic. What we're currently watching are, as is written here, the best animes of 2023. Some of them are completely bonkers, like this one, which is basically about the dark side of pop culture. And at least, we can sum it down to pop culture and how it exploits a lot of people who want to be famous and so on and so on and so forth. But this is basically what we're watching right now. It'll be over soon. Don't worry.
The same person, maybe not, but then because his mother's really traumatic. So, it's an idol anime? No. Sometimes Oshinoko is a victim of its own insane premise. Like, I don't even know if I fully understand this main character. A grown-ass, idol-obsessed man who gets reincarnated as the son of the girl he idolized and grows up being obsessed with his now mum and any other girl who even remotely reminds him of her. Like, if I call him a motherfucker, is he more likely to say fuck you or yes please? Here's a feed of Sigmund Freud's grave right now. But behind all that, the show shines as this interesting, no bullshit, Instagram filters off look at the Japanese entertainment industry, showing you what really happens behind those closed doors when the cameras are turned off.
I hate the media!
This was the show that tricked everyone into thinking they were watching another idol anime, when in reality it was almost the complete opposite. And the real ones know the true thing single-handedly elevating the reputation of idol fans in 2023 is the sheer existence of Aoi Todo. With how popular this got, I find it interesting how much I heard this title being thrown around last year when most people saying it probably didn't even know what an Oshinoko is. See, in Japanese, Oshi means a person who I support, and in idol culture is normally used to refer to someone's favorite idol. So the term Oshinoko has a clever double meaning that could be my favorite idol or my idol's children, which both perfectly describe the show. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Oshis are worshipped in idol fandom in the same way that Taylor Swift has become the Jesus for white women.
Yeah, that is pretty straightforward of an explanation. I also appreciate the fact that every single content creator that I've watched this year have been making use of the whole TikTok and YouTube shorts thing, with like just showing some random gameplay going on while explaining some stuff. It is so distracting. I don't understand how people manage to get through videos while watching that.
I am
Atomic. Yes.
Saying you're a fan of isekai feels a bit like saying you're a fan of British food.
Stupid.
People think you're consuming the most bland, tasteless piece of garbage the world has ever seen. But sometimes I have a friend come visit and they have a taste of a proper full English breakfast, a perfectly cooked Sunday roast. They try some of our Cornish pasties, our crisps, and it's like, damn, this is pretty good actually. That is my Eminence in Shadow. This takes every single trashy, cliche tropes you scoff at in isekai and wears it like a badge of honor. Edgy main character, an army of girls in his harem, blatant power fantasy, nonsensical plotlines, cheesy dialogue, boobs. You know it shouldn't work, but it wears it all so proudly you start getting convinced that it's actually cool. It's not that it isn't stupid. It is stupid, but it doesn't give a fuck if you care or not. And I thought this would eventually run its course until I kept watching and realized that this has a more interesting plot and better world building than 90% of isekai out there.
I mean, the Taylor Swift situation is also like really bad. To me personally, I think that the good thing that has come out of it is that people are now a bit more conscious of how it is affecting people. Like, I understand the ridiculousness of it requiring to like reach a famous person before the government starts taking action. But like, yeah, there's the aspect of people like trashing on her because like, oh, she's a famous person, so it doesn't matter, she deserves it. But like, come on. If it affects her like that, like anybody is like next on the chopping block. So yeah, I think it's kind of sad. But yeah, in both the comical way of it reaching the government because of it, and also because of the things that people are doing with those whole AI generated images. But yeah, Eminence in Shadows, at least best trash anime of the year. What type of anime will fit the depth of Krieg? For those who do not know, this is a faction within Warhammer 40k that serve the Imperium, who are very, very suicidal. Like, they want to fight to an end. It is a collective of people who have been genetically bred to be soldiers, and they have lived in so bad conditions with a planet that's been nuked more times than one can count. And yeah, basically they are really just ready to sacrifice themselves whenever need be. That's why they call the Death Corps of Krieg. As an anime genre, I would say that putting them in like a slice of life comedy would be great, but like a very morbid type. Those do exist out there. Imagine something like man, what's a good comparison here of an anime? Like any of those Dungeons animes that have been making the rounds could be interesting. Like you see one members of the Kriegs just follow his life while his mates are going on the battlefield, and he's like the only one who makes it out of there. But because they rarely talk, you only see things through their actions, and that's the part that makes it comical, because we nearly never hear them talk, actually. Terraformers? You know what? Yeah, without the exposition, remove the exposition from Terraformers, then you have Death Corps of Krieg going into battle in an anime form. Actually, that fits. Yeah, kind of like Solo Leveling, but imagine Solo Leveling without the dialogue and all of the all of the stats being described and all that. It's just pure combat and just people acting as if, oh, I lost a limb. High fives are gonna suck now, so it's gonna be like that. Very, very weird. Or Jinro meets slime. Oh my god, no! Don't bring Jinro into my mind. I don't like that. That thing is somewhat traumatizing. Let's move on.
Which actually says less than you think. For as self-aware as it is, it spares no expense in building up this fully fleshed out world with so many moving parts. Every new arc, you see the dominoes being perfectly laid out. It's all set up for Sid to come in and topple them on the biggest stage possible. And even though you know it's happening, when the moment comes, it delivers. Every single time. This was the most fun I had with any show all year, and just when I think the plot has nowhere else to go, Season 2 ends with a world-shaking development that made me go, fuck! Why aren't more isekai doing this? I guess what I'm trying to say is, I really miss Greg's.
Hell yeah.
One man's freedom is another man's genocide. Eren Yeager. Probably. Attack on Titan ended this year, and the internet had opinions. If you only browsed Twitter, you might have thought half the people either think this was a masterpiece ending, no flaws, 10 out of 10, we all won, we all lost. Eren is a bird. Or, this ending ruined the series, ruined the characters, made the entire show pointless, spat on the legacy of everything he had done, no one's gonna remember Attack on Titan now. Eren is a bird.
Today, we're going to talk about how to stop smoking crack.
Now, with real people I've actually talked to, the consensus seems to be that this was a satisfying conclusion that did everything it needed to do. I had my slight nitpicks with the execution of this ending, but absolutely none of it took away from my love for this series as a whole. What Attack on Titan has achieved and the impact it's had on the global reach of anime is something that will go down in history as one of the defining shows of this era. This might not be my favorite ending of all time, but it is certainly the ending to one of my favorite anime of all time. So for one last time, thank you, Attack on Titan. Only those around now will know that feeling of after years of waiting through final seasons of final parts of final episodes, 2023 was that time we could definitively say that this was the final bit of Attack on Titan we'll ever get to sell. God damn it.
No! I seriously thought that it was the end. Many of us had been waiting for years to just see the adaptation of the manga. Let's just let him show that bloody bird and let's get it over with. And then this comes. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? Come on. It's over. If it went full with a genocide plot, it would have been better. I don't know. Perhaps. But then what would Eren have learned out of this? I think that the whole lesson was to make people understand that, like, perpetuating the hate and the hurt that you have, that you've gone through, is not the solution. So if it went with that, sure, it would have made for a bit more of a more bigger punch in the gut, certainly. But I don't think that the characters would have learned anything from it. Like, that would have completely destroyed character development. Which, by the way, I mean, Eren ruined his own arc by the end of it. So perhaps you're right. He became a bird.
Sometimes you just need a dose of wholesomeness to brighten up your day, but being a dude watching anime can sometimes feel like...
So what anime have you been watching? Oh, I'm watching this anime called Skip and Loafer, and it's just one of the most cute and adorable... Yo, you catch the latest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen at all?
There was nothing in 2023 that made me come out of every episode feeling as good as Skip and Loafer did. This shit was a weekly injection of sunshine into my veins. I mean, just look at this opening alone. The colors, the vibes, the catchy song, this goddamn dance. It's enough to make any grown-ass man internally scream, "Ah! This is so cute!" Fuck yeah, violence, am I right, lads? Skip and Loafer is about as straightforward as you can get. A country bumpkin moves to the big city and adjusts to her new high school life. It doesn't need any complex plot because it...
He's right. He's totally right. That's literally... I was asked, I think, a couple of months ago, as I was... my girlfriend was very active, going to the job and everything. So... And also, the daycare was not open at the time. So I had to take care of her and have her home. So we were actually watching some old anime, some Miyazaki stuff and different other things. From like very cutesy stuff, obviously. And then I personally started diving more into this type of slice of life anime. And so when I would like encounter a friend who is also an anime watcher and we would talk, I would like, for some reason, just end up talking about those things. And it's like, there's like an internal feeling in your gut that goes like, is it actually one that I want to bring forth in this conversation? But they are actually pretty good. But it's just weird to watch that as a guy sometime.
It exudes this air of authenticity that makes you feel so goddamn good. It's rare to find an anime as genuine as this one, because when I say high school life, I don't mean your typical cutesy anime high schoolers that are like... These are teenagers, real teenagers, just enjoying their lives to the fullest. No melodrama, no overly anime bullshit. This is youth and adolescence at its most pure without feeling like it's been put through some moe anime filter. And there's just something so endearing about that. But getting a common adult, why would I be interested in teenagers? Look, as a certified man, wait, that line sounded really wrong. Look, as a certified man baby pretending to be a grown-up, let me tell you, adulting sucks. We have jobs, we have responsibilities, we have goddamn taxes. Sometimes you yearn for a time when life was simpler and more straightforward, and maybe that time is romanticized. Maybe you're looking back at that time through rose-tinted glasses. But whether you are or you aren't, you'll never know, because we'll never be able to get that time back again.
My dude, you're so right about this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you all something very messed up. I will be turning 30 in a year and 4 days. Midlife crisis. No, actually, we're not supposed to have midlife crisis at this age, but like I had that realization a few days ago because freaking of all things, Google Calendar reminded me your birthday is soon, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, here comes all the messages. Here comes the people. Still to this day, like I have adults like myself. I need to remind myself that I am one. But like elderly who will come to me and be like, oh, you've grown so much. Who do you think I am? It's so annoying realizing that so much time had passed and like your childhood was just left behind, man. Oh, it sucks. Yeah, I'm turning I'm turning 29 next week. It's frustrating. What line I will wait? Hey, February gang. Yeah, these are the reasons as to why we watch this type of shows. They remind us. They do, in fact, remind us of a time past. Just imagine you are 18. Yeah, I can try.
Ever. And it's those little moments, those simple times you cherish and reminisce about that this show encapsulates perfectly. Like, there's this one scene where our main girl comes home for the first time during her summer break. She stayed up way too late catching up with her friends and slept in, but it's alright. Her mum's taken the day off and she has the whole summer ahead of her. So on this boiling hot day, her mum slices her up a watermelon and the episode slows down to a crawl as we see her just taking a moment to enjoy this watermelon while the sounds of summer ring on in the background, and she just stops and just appreciates.
Bruh. This gonna be my summer vacation. Just going to the countryside, listening to cicadas, chilling.
姉ちゃん、ふみちゃん来たよ。はっ、ごめん、ふみ、ちょっとだけ待って。
And just like that, her summer was over.
Damn. Oh, Heavenly Delusion.
When anime wants you to know one of its characters is crazy, it goes... When anime is trying to hint at something important, it's like... Subtlety in anime is using a chainsaw to dice an onion, but what happens when a show comes along that treats you like you have the IQ that Rick and Morty fans say they do?
He's 100% right. Brendan is over. Oh, sorry. I have another solution to the great age problem. Just become immortal. It can't be that difficult. Yeah. I don't know what to do, what diet to jump on. I've exercised enough to keep my body young, and that's my plan. I wanna live till I'm 100, but we'll see eventually how that plays out. But yeah, the thing here on the IQ of Rick and Morty fans is very true. This show here, Heavenly Delusion, is one of the most well-written shows out there, and it really does not insult your intellect. It's one of those that are like, you will figure it out eventually, but we are going to sprinkle enough hints here for you to help you along. And it's nice. No unnecessary exposition, nothing with like, oh, something weird happened, let me just explain something for like 15 minutes. You just enjoy the show and piece it out together as it goes on. It's beautifully displayed.
You get Heavenly Delusion. Here is a show that doesn't take you by the hand and leads you, but leaves you to discover the story on your own. It drops you into this insane world, gives you a hand-drawn scribble of a map, and says, figure it out yourself. It's episode 1. Boom, we see a duo exploring a ruined Tokyo that gets in some kind of altercation with some bandits. Alright, you get the idea. It's some post-apocalyptic world, people are fighting for survival, and
Would you look at that? Oh, I am. And I like what I see.
What are you ladies doing?
You're praying this doesn't have the ugly bastard tag on it. The girl brings out a gun that looks like this and immediately gears start turning. Wait, is this some sci-fi world shit or is that a damn Fisher-Price toy, you think? The bandits start attacking anyway and they fight back, so you're like, ah, okay, maybe she was just bluffing, so this is just a normal world after all.
Yeah. Not quite.
That's a gun. In a single scene, the show has set up its world, got you asking questions, played with your expectations, answered your question, left you needing more answers, all without directly telling you a goddamn thing. This is Heavenly Delusion for all.
Like, some scenes are like so cleverly made. Like the whole thing with her jumping on a fence is just to show just that the gun has so much recoil that it needed to be there. She needed to hang on to something. And it's showcased later on. Like, you get to understand that the battery is going to be depleted. She only has one shot. And the reason are very much laid in there. You figure them out in the next episode, but it's so good.
Show has set up its world, got you asking questions, played with your expectations, answered your question, left you needing more answers, all without directly telling you a goddamn thing. This is Heavenly Delusion for all 13 episodes. This had one of the most intriguing worlds of any show this year, but trusted you to piece everything together yourself. There is no wasted scene, no out-of-character moment. Everything is a possible puzzle piece that clues you into the bigger picture. What happened to this world? Why are there nightmarish creatures that are eating people? What kind of sick experimentations is going on behind the scenes? Were you paying attention even now? Because you just saw a random drawing of a fish with legs that looks oddly like this horrific thing. And the real question is, did you see a connection without me saying anything?
Yep,
Only by watching
drew it.
intently do you realize how many crumbs are hidden in plain sight. You get given enough to get a rough idea, but never enough to see the full picture, and it's that unknown that makes this world as intriguing as it is goddamn terrifying. By the end, we've only just seen a slice of the larger whole, but it's so refreshing to see an anime that will have your neurons firing in a way where you don't have to worry about watching with headphones on for once. You know, most of the time.
Most of the time. Oh man, YouTube is hitting him hard with those copyright musics there.
And I don't want to watch these Chinese cartoons, but in 2023, anime went, alright, but what if we had Chinese cartoons? Japan. Apothecary Diaries is an anime that takes place in ancient China, not China, in a palace setting that immediately reminded me of these badly dubbed Chinese soap operas I sometimes walk into my mum watching as a kid. At the beginning, I didn't fully realize what the big hook of this show was. Was it the House MD style medical detective stories? Was it the historical drama surrounding the palace politics? Yes. But on top of that, it has, simply put, the best female character we could find all year. And sometimes, that's all it takes. For far too long, anime seems to think we want only one thing, and it's this. No. How about nothing more than just a well-written, believable, compelling female protagonist? And this. Mao Mao is a character that deserves to be in the running for one of the best protagonists we saw in 2023, and was such a breath of fresh air to see. Her presence was overpowering without conforming to what a lot of shows seem to think a good female character is. It's not that she's not like other girls, or premium waifu bait, or a strong female character trademark. She's just a girl.
Just
a
a girl.
well-written, believable one that doesn't forget that she's a person first before being just another girl.
One girl that actually got quite a few Warhammer fans just to watch her. Because as soon as they heard the word apothecary, they were like, brother, 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 get the gene seed, brother. And then it was just like a cutesy little girl that was just very, very clever. And they stuck with the show. They were like, okay, sure. We are already here, so let's continue watching this heresy.
She doesn't have to be unfeminine to find the overly flirtatious attitude of some pretty boy unappealing. She cannot be your typical waifu bait and still absolutely slay when she needs to. She's not strong because she can beat up 100 guys, but because she's headstrong in her own values and beliefs. Here is a clever realist who acknowledges her place in the palace hierarchy, but isn't afraid to throw hands when shit needs to get done.
The bitch slap.
Reset that bitch. Seeing Mao Mao passionately solve these medical mysteries while asserting her fucking dominance all over the palace politics made this such a compelling watch. And hopefully more shows will be able to take note of great characters like this.
He did it! Yes! Let's
Appreciating
go!
the statue of David up close, getting to see Lionel Messi dribble past 5 players, watching Jack Nicholson command every scene he's in. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is, it's always enthralling to see an absolute master of their craft at work. And that's the exact feeling I get whenever I get to see anything written by Naoki Urasawa.
This man is like... is a fucking legend. Like, there are individuals whom, like, you can associate with something that is always going to turn out well. Like you see an Edgar Wright movie, you know that a soundtrack and every single thing is going to be produced immaculately. You see anything done by freaking Scorsese, and you know that the dialogue is going to be freaking intense. You see anything done by this guy, you know that the story is just going to be full of tear-jerking moments, and it's gonna make you feel for anime characters to a degree that you wouldn't believe. And yeah, he's king.
And Pluto was absolutely no exception.
I once created a robot that was perfect. The greatest robot the world has ever seen.
There are only a few mangaka that can boast such a legendary status as Urasawa himself. When you have a track record of titles like Monster, an absolute masterpiece with arguably the greatest villain anime has seen. 20th Century Boys, not just my favorite manga of all time, but one of my favorite pieces of fiction to exist. Pluto is meant to be one of his weaker works, according to diehard fans. And goddamn, if this is him operating at his lowest potential, this is like sending in your weakest fighter, and that fighter turns out to be Gojo fucking Satoru, and wait. Yeah, that analogy checks out. This has all the calling cards of a classic Urasawa tale. He sets the stage, a sci-fi world where humans and robots coexist, a series of unsolved murders, a detective that is missing part of his memories, a robot that has done the impossible and taken a human life. He hooks you into his world and leaves you with a single question when the first episode ends. Just how deep does this rabbit hole go? The man's ability to construct a mystery and captivate an audience through his mastery of suspense, to me, has the same level of craftsmanship as seeing a master blacksmith make a legendary sword. Every episode is so dense with emotion, a plot that will keep you guessing through all the twists and turns, sitting on top of the sheer thematic depth of the story that every single character carries on their back. And by the end of it all, he'll leave you with these ideas that you'll be thinking about far after the credits roll. This is some of the finest storytelling you can find anywhere. If I had to make a guess why this didn't make as big of an impact as it probably should have, well, this was an adaptation of a sci-fi manga that was written 20 years ago that was originally a reimagining of Astro Boy, a manga that came out 60 years ago. So, inevitably, there might be some aspects that feel a bit dated. What's this? A war involving the invasion of some Middle Eastern country predicated on the possible developments of robots of mass destruction? Oh hey, there's a guy called Adolf.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy.
I couldn't agree with you more, my dear Adolf.
But along with a slightly lukewarm ending, this doesn't take away from the legacy of one of the greatest mangakas alive right now. So, I have one question left. Are we ready to attempt a 20th Century Boys anime?
Oh boy, I don't think we are. The world would explode.
Domain expansion.
Immaculate crack rock. God damn it, Seth. Now every single time anybody boasts a domain expansion, those are the words that are going to stay in my head. Fuck.
When you watch an action anime, you normally go through a season where you might see a ton of great action, but you know it all builds up to this one, or at most 2 episodes where the production values skyrocket and you're treated to this insanely animated fight that will drop your jaw to the floor. These are the scenes that everyone remembers and defines the top fights of the year. Jujutsu Kaisen went, how about we do that? For every single episode. I don't think I've ever quite experienced the collective adrenaline-filled ride Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 has given me. You put on an episode and be watching some of the sickest shit that's ever been put on screen, and you think to yourself, there's no way they could ever top this. And it's at that moment the show will look you dead in the eye and go, I'll fucking do it again. And then it does. Again and again and again and again and again and again. So many amazing moments, so many sick-ass scenes. Midway through the season, the hype got to me, and I excitedly tweeted out, it should be goddamn illegal for an anime to go this hard. That was the same day all this came out. One of the biggest talking points has been Mappa's treatment of their animators during the season, and I think it's a testament to the blood, sweat, and tears poured into this that we got a product this fantastic despite the hellish working conditions they were going through.
The anime industry is literally the opposite of what we're experiencing in the AAA gaming industry right now. Like, you actually have talented individuals whose work that is in the gaming industry that are being wasted because of some terrible practices. Now, the same can be also said in the anime one, but we actually get to see the final product, and the final product is good. Now, the conditions should be changed and improved, but god damn it, are their work bangers. That's why I'm always willing to like spend money on these shows. Give me a Blu-ray because, again, with the whole Crunchyroll and Funimation situation, we should be owning more physical media and not just stream everything because soon they'll be taken away from us.
Slayer, Mob Psycho. This may not have gotten the opportunity to be as polished as shows like that, but it is unmatched when it comes to its raw stylistic flair. Every single fight has a unique identity not constrained to one genre of action. We got gritty hand-to-hand combat, citywide disaster-level brawls, insanely unique powers, idol dance beatdowns. There was a mecha fight, a fucking mecha fight in a shonen anime. The amount of hype, the amount of fucking sheer disrespect. We got fucking rabbits throwing hands. This was one of the greatest showcases I've ever seen of, for lack of a better term, fucking cool shit. This felt like the purest celebration of fight scenes and choreography. We were in the audience. They got to marvel at a symphony of some of the coolest set pieces you can find in the medium. The Shibuya arc may not have been peak storytelling or the peak of all shonen arcs, but right now this is the peak of action spectacle.
Dang.
The way elves see this world is a
Frieren.
mystery.
I thank you, Frieren. It's solely because of you that this retired hero could have one final adventure.
Frieren opens on the story of an elf girl who takes for granted the time she has with the people around her. Decades pass in the blink of an eye, her companions age, and before she has the chance to fully get to know them, they're gone. It's a regretful, poignant tale that shoots straight to your goddamn soul.
Right in
And
the
then the opening's
gefühl.
like... The show took a different approach to fantasy adventure while encapsulating everything that the genre is about. There might not be any demon lord to defeat or world to save, but instead we have a journey about appreciating the smaller things in your life. The beautiful things you might have missed if you forgot to look for them. I showed this to a mate and he was like, Frieren? You mean Side Quest, the anime? And I bloody ate him. Because of how fucking accurate that is. Yet it's through those detours you take along the road to your destination that Frieren absolutely shines. It's the type of show that grips you without ever needing to hit you with any flashy, high-intensity action scenes to keep your attention, and then hits you with these flashy, high-intensity action scenes. This series didn't need to go hard in its animation in any way, shape, or form, but chooses to do so anyway. This is what it's like to watch a fully polished product, but like Frieren's own journey, these are not the moments that stick with you. For the world-saving adventure she went on, the slice of memories we get are those small moments that really defined the time she spent with her party. And as she forms new bonds, you start to see those small pieces she begins to pick up from the people around her that slowly become a part of her. This is what every fantasy tale aspires to be.
Really nice.
It's shows like these that somehow make you nostalgic for an experience you've never had, friends you've never made. But at its heart, it's a gentle reminder to cherish the things in your life that really matter, to make the most of the time with the people you truly value.
It actually reminded me a lot of the tales of House Moving Castle in a way. A lot of the subtext that were in there.
Einar, I've killed so many people.
Oh boy, I have no enemies. But I do have one that I like to fight with, which is the feels that I get from watching Vinland Saga Season 2. Oof. This is the manliest shit that was put on display last year. It was so good.
I will be reborn, and I will atone for all that I've done.
That's all we've ever wanted. Something in this world that can give us a reason to keep going.
When I was a kid, my father would read me bedtime stories that my childish mind would always be absolutely immersed in. Accounts of hungry caterpillars, rainbow fishes, ugly ducklings. These were the greatest stories I'd ever heard. because they were. But it would always end off with a message, a seed that got planted in my head that would hopefully sprout into a lesson that would stick with me. And as you grow older, start learning new lessons by experiencing real life, you forget the effect that stories can have on you. A good story can not only entertain you, it can move you, give you a new perspective, teach you something you never knew you could learn that you can take far beyond the confounds of watching some piece of entertainment. That is the power of a great tale, and that is everything that Vinland Saga Season 2 encapsulates. I cannot begin to describe the sheer effect this show had on me. Season 1 was a compelling adventure filled with tragedy, vengeance, and violence.
everything.
So to anyone coming into this season blind, you probably would have been taken aback. The violence takes a backseat to a pure, methodical character drama. Vengeance has been replaced by a saga of redemption and acceptance. Honor, glory, sacrifice, all left by the wayside, and all that remains is people just trying their best to find their place in this merciless world. While most
I think the season 1 is like, to put it in more like Gen Z terms. It's like, imagine one of those high valued man, right? Who is chasing for that billionaire lifestyle. Wants the honor, the glory, and the ladies and all. And then you grow up and you find out that, no, that's not it. Just live a simple life. That's what it's all about. Create relationships that are worth it. Meet people that actually truly do care for you. Like, man, this show is the type... It's very rare that I find animes that I want to reflect upon after watching them. And you know what? This one is one that I will always recommend anybody. I want to say Gen Z terms, but I've caught myself in saying that. No, I shouldn't be using that language. The race, the skibbity, and all that shit. I don't want to break my own mind. Bossing. Yes. God.
Most series would cower at the thought of shifting gears this drastically. It is that strong juxtaposition that gives Vinland Saga's message the weight it has, exemplified by possibly the greatest character development we've ever seen in this medium. Thorfinn's transformation is something that transcends entertainment. A man who starts off as a shell of a human, broken, empty, unworthy of redemption, but through every person he meets, every relationship he forms, he starts to learn to pick up the broken pieces of his former self that slowly but surely fill his soul up. As you see him encounter conflict, you'll secretly wish for that instant gratification that he'll revert back to his previous savage self. But as you witness this journey of a man fighting so desperately to find peace, who learns that it's okay not just to forgive others, but to forgive himself as well, it becomes an experience that will linger with you and invites you to find your own solace. Watching Vinland Saga feels like I'm getting read the greatest bedtime story ever told by my dad. It'll grip you with the purest of tales packed with nothing but raw human emotion that will leave your heart filled to the brim. And by the end of it all, it gives you something, a message, a lesson it earnestly hopes you can take with you. It reminds you that change isn't just something that exists in the boundaries of a fictional story. It doesn't come easy. It's a long, hard, unforgiving road, but you can get there, even if every day you only take one small step at a time. We will always find a reason to fight each other, no matter what time period we are in, weapons we can use, or tools we have at our disposal. But no matter how broken you think the world is, there is still meaning in trying to build a better tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I can make a brighter day come. Maybe tomorrow I can be just that little bit kinder. Maybe tomorrow I can become a slightly better version of myself.
Dude be like, but tomorrow is far away. Don't want to stick out Gyat for the razor. No, dude, stop. Just reading that is like close to give me an aneurysm. I don't understand how people can text this way.
You are capable of letting go of that hatred, even if that hatred is towards yourself. You have no enemies.
Oh, that was a beautiful message at the end. Very nice, Gigak. God dang.
The year?
Whew. That was good. That was really good. I think that we are getting into territories that every single one of us had at some point, and our parents and the parents before them, when it comes to the language use, it's always like that. Like just the use of the word rad. Like my dad will listen to that and be like, "What are you talking about? Are you talking about the amount of radioactive materials that is around?" To which like, "Dad, no, it's cool." Ah, okay, that's what you meant. Saki scream for ice cream. Alright. It's a Warhammer parody. Looks like, at least. Best anime. Best of anime now is the next one. Ah. Oh, the one for 2024. Let's watch that a bit later. What was that about Crunchyroll? Yeah, let's quickly talk about this. So, back in 2021, Crunchyroll and Funimation did have a little bit of a deal that the two companies were supposed to be merging, which they sort of did. And so they announced, I think a year back, that people should be prepared under the understanding that most of the digital library will be shifting over to Crunchyroll, because they were going to be like the biggest distributor of anime out there. Which was like, okay. It caused a little bit of a stir because of the subscription services that many felt kind of robbed away from, because they had subscribed to a new service that suddenly had to shift, and a lot of things that they owned there felt as if they were going to be taken away from them. They were, at least the new subscribers, were compensated with some, I guess, some new and exciting stuff, as they put it, on Crunchyroll. But turns out that it wasn't quite like that. Now, something that was very, very bad yesterday was this article here from The Verge. Let's get into it. Let me see. I think it's better if I split the screen this way. Yeah. So, Funimation is shutting down and taking your digital library with it. So, it's definitive. It's gone. They're just taking things away. Remember the video that I put out some weeks ago regarding Ubisoft? The whole thing about digital ownership, when one of the CEO of the department for online subscription and all came forth and said that people should get used to actually not owning their games. Well, this is this in full effect, just for anime users. It's wonderful. Funimation, for those of you who are unaware, who are not truly like anime watchers, was like the building stones for many anime watchers like myself. You could get digital things there, the Blu-ray editions for many shows, and it's like imagine if you were to be wanting to watch, like let's take Palworld as an example. Because of Palworld, many are then flooding back to watch Pokemon and having those memories brought forth. If you want to watch an episode, at least the entirety of the season of Pokemon, you need to bounce back and forth to so many, like an endless amount of streaming services just to get the full seasons. And it really sucks. The great thing about Funimation was that to a certain degree at least, that you could own certain things that were unique. Like, for example, the Blu-ray editions of certain shows. But all those things are now going to be taken away from you because the whole service is shutting down. And even worse from it is that they are doing this from April of 2024. Even worse than this is what Crunchyroll came forth to say. Now, I don't know if I can zoom a little bit here to see the statement fully. Let me see. Now is the message, god damn it. Let me do that in screen instead. So, what are they saying in the service update? Thank you for being a loyal Funimation customer. The Funimation service is ending in April 2nd, 2024. You can still access content, the content you love on Crunchyroll, which house ones of the largest anime library, subs and dubs, the catalog, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to leave your Funimation history and Funimation queue behind. You can migrate them to Crunchyroll. Please log into blah, 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 part of the transition. Yes, this is the thing that was kind of annoying before. I kind of skimmed the article, but as part of our transition to Crunchyroll, the prices are now rising, increasing from $9 a month to $12. Are you serious? Are you absolutely bonkers? So not only are they taking away something that you don't physically own away from you, they are also hiking the prices. Like, what in the world? It's insane. Of course, they're saying that they're doing that a bit later, but yeah, from that date on, prepare to pay more. It's very annoying. I really dislike this. This is the thing that is causing more people to, like, always support piracy. There's no doubt that it is way more profitable for people to engage in piracy, because at least there you won't have to even do the thing that I mentioned before, bouncing back and forth to find different seasons of different shows. You will have it, you will own it, and even if the service shuts down one day or another, you will still have your stuff. You'll still be able to enjoy the shows that you like. It is so weird that these companies are shifting businesses just because they've seen a cash cow. But at the end of the day, like, man, I've said this thing before of, like, we vote with our dollars. And this is more applicable than ever. This is the time to really take that into account. Oh. Getting a bunch of messages right now. Oh, for Dying Light, thanks. Not at the moment, though. Hey there, Polek. I just don't understand. Why would they even do that? You're tarnishing your reputation and just ruining it for every single fan out there. And that's the strangest thing. It's like, they call it consumer product, but they always end up being so anti-consumer. And it's also a thing that I think that some people are going to misconstrue with the console situation. Also, I think it was Xbox. There was some data mine things that came out recently where they found out that Xbox is most likely, it's just rumors right now, but it's most likely going to be shifting the methods to no longer having digital media. Physical media. That the console is going to be obsolete. That some of the exclusives, if not all of them, are going to be completely moved over to PlayStation even. Very weird. Such thing as Hi-Fi Rush, one of the best games of last year, will be now available for them. And so on and so forth. And some people are rejoicing over this, which I understand. The whole console war is very stupid. Exclusives are very stupid. You are locking games away from people to a degree that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've never understood that concept. Like, you clearly want people to play your games, but you're going to force them to buy a console to do that? Obviously, people are not going to do that. Time and time again, it's been proven that we do not want that. Like, the original Xbox was one of the greatest things ever made, and the Xbox 360 was the game that showed the world that that there was a demand for a cheaper entry into video games. For those of you who remember that time, beautiful era of gaming, like, I think it was announced, no, the PlayStation 5 was announced in 2005. PlayStation 5, sorry. The PlayStation 5 already! No, the PlayStation 3 was announced in 2005. And that thing was priced at $599. I remember that because I ended up spending all of my savings 2 years after to get one of those, because my parents did not want to buy me a new console. And that console had nothing. The 360 was crazy. The 360 had everything. It expanded on Xbox Live. He had all of the best exclusive. Halo, Halo Reach, Gears of War, Fable. Freaking, I'm gonna put the clip here of the lady there who says Fable. Where the hell is it? I think I have downloaded it. God damn, she was so much fun. But Fable was part of it. Like, what did PlayStation have? Nothing. Upon entry, they say that I think in 2009 they got the Uncharted games really going. It was only until 2011 that it started ramping up with stuff like The Last of Us, and did it come in 2011? I think it might be 12. But anyways, I think it's only around 2011 that things actually started looking good for PlayStation, where like you had those studios like Naughty Dog that started getting invested in there, creating actual good exclusives for them. But the Xbox 360 was priced at $299 for the entry level, and then the $399 version that had a hard drive, which nobody was actually expecting to get because we didn't have the concept of the whole thing about updating games at the time through like internet services. And my boy, the 360, to which I still own the Kinect camera for, because it can be used for rigging things for animation. But that console was the best thing. And that is one of the aspects that I like to argue about that thing, because it created competition. The competition ended up lining up with the whole thing about the development of hardware. You had a console that was just as powerful as the PlayStation, priced to a point that was accessible for many people. And that's why many of the companies that created games at the time were flogging to the Xbox, because they were developing games exclusively for that console. And then of course later for PC, because PC had access to just about everything. But then, with just the lack of innovation, because they felt too comfortable in that, they just started getting into a different market. They never recovered since the 360 era. The Xbox One was a complete flop, and Xbox Series S and all that. They never recovered. And then, of course, they figure out that, hey, Game Pass is amazing. People are going to love that shit. Now, the profitability of Game Pass is very arguable. People are jumping on the subscription service, and that is what is gaining them money somewhat. And they're seeing this, and they just want to shift to that direction. But it is fucking dangerous, because not only are they going to push to that direction of owning a monopoly within the industry, and also they're removing physical media. Like, how many of you have bought a game physically? Example. What I have right now, the latest game that I try to play is Helldivers. I played the original, and I really thought that, oh, I'm gonna have a swell time today. I've played this thing for 13 minutes. The game crashed. Now, I've seen some reviews for it. People are loving it, saying that it is the best thing on earth, but it's made by whom? Freaking PlayStation. Let's see if the game can actually play now. Oh, they have an update. About fucking time. Ugh. How big is it? I don't even know. Holy shit. 18 gigs. Look at that. This is day one patch. At least they're quick about it. Some people have been managing to play it, but that's the problem that I want to make. Like, when you have the digital media, you are forced to wait for these things to happen. Things are always getting fixed retroactively. You never get to own your stuff, and it's just going to be taken away from you if they so wanted to. I don't want this to be the future for gaming. That's why I advocated in the last video that people should be allowed to pay more of these type of games on, at least have access to this type of game on platforms like GOG Galaxy, where you can play those things. And at least there you know for certain that things are kept in perpetuity. You will never lose your game there. But yeah, Steam also has some things to cover. They have also a tendency of removing some stuff. Like, for example, for those of you who would have heard it, one of the greatest games of 2012 has been removed from there because of Embracer Group, Spec Ops: The Line. I actually have a video cooking about that because I think that for the people who have never experienced that game, they should know about it. So we'll see that in due time. Yeah, I have pretty good download. I have pretty good internet, but again, it depends on the time and day. Sometimes it gets pretty slow, but other times it is pretty freaking fast. The big hitters want to hold you by your digital assets and have control over your spendings. Yeah, they do. Like, I'm on the very lucky position that since I'm a content creator, sometime when I want to talk about certain things, I can get digital copies. So that's nice. But that's not the average person. You're not going to get the biggest title out there just cause. And that's a talk that I think that more of our fellow influencers should also bring forth, like the accessibility to people. Not everybody has the money nor the time to spend to always chase the latest thing. But yeah, what the hell do I know? Let's continue watching some fun stuff here. What was it that I was at? Oh yeah, our boy. Let's shut down this article for a quickie. Oh no, no Blue Jay. We're gonna watch Anthony's story now. There was the video on COVID. I was just reminded that I had promised to check that one again, or at least those ones again, because there are two of them. Because of the Brendan Lee Mulligan video on the CEO there, that I have watched some, I think it was last month, the one that mentioned COVID. So, I'm gonna give it a look. Back to the good old days of 3 years ago, of 2021. You just made me download an entire Pokemon anime. Well, I hope you like it. Yes, I've watched the Solo Leveling anime, and I was just convinced to actually put... I will edit my reactions to it. I have actually recorded reactions to it. It was just before I got sick. I'm missing episode 5, but you will get some reactions to it eventually. Alright. Tales from the Virus. This is on the greatest hit that our world has experienced. The beauty of the coronavirus. And the many tales that came out of it. It was an absolutely weird age. That lasted just like a couple of years. And people were nuts. So let's get back to memory lane. On the best day ever. Oh boy. Four years. Oh boy. I'm living in the past. Remember, as I said before, I don't want the years to continue. I want to feel young again.
Inhale. I can finally breathe again. It must be over. Scanning for traces of human life. 5G scanners activate. Nothing detected. The species Homo sapien is extinct. It's time to fulfill my purpose. Executing Operation Ice to See You.
With the new Vegas robot.
Welcome back. Let me brief you on how the world ended.
The Nvidia bot.
Actually, the details are a bit foggy, but it's believed that Batman was eating soup with his hands at a Chinese restaurant when someone coughed on the crouton.
Someone coughed on the croutons.
January 2020. The virus is spreading across the globe.
Oh, actually, I just skipped this thing completely normally. In 2020, a shortage of toilet paper had crippled every major city across Australia. Oh, just Australia? Well, it crippled every city across the world. I was an essential worker at the time, as in I was working at the grocery store. And we had to bar people from entering the store because they actually caused a stir, demanding more toilet paper. Now, the greatest thing about it is that I actually got to use my stature for a good purpose. Like, I was standing as the guard in front of the door because some people could not enter. I was finding them. You know, I was super my opposing stature, like I was standing there like a JoJo villain. It was so fun. But yeah, sorry, I will boost the audio. My bad.
It's time to fulfill my purpose. Executing Operation Ice to See You. Welcome back. Let me brief you on how the world ended.
The people were mad.
Actually, the details are a bit foggy, but it's believed that Batman was eating soup with his hands at a Chinese restaurant when someone coughed on the crouton. January 2020. The virus is spreading across the globe,
All right, now everyone just plops over dead and we win. Sweet.
and everyone was amped to start panicking. Oh my god, the virus TM is everywhere. In your country, in your homes, in your cereal. Better not touch that door handle, better not touch your face. Don't touch me, breathe somewhere else, Vector. People said, oh, I suppose it is kind of cute though. No, I must resist. Guys, does anyone else feel like
Of course somebody went that direction. I'm pretty certain if I type in there Rule 34 coronavirus, there's gotta be something. God damn it, internet. You beautiful, weird place.
the air in here is kind of chunky? How do I take my white cell count? These ones all look red. You get the idea. So naturally, rumors started to spread. And the first one was about toilet paper. Hey, I heard that here in Australia, 90% of our toilet paper is produced in China. Maybe that means there'll be no more stock. So the public went out to grab an extra pack. Then the news stories started coming in about the lockdown. Fears realized. So they grabbed 2 packs. No one knew how long the lockdown would last either. Better grab 3. 4 just in case. And everyone had that same concern. Within the week, stocks on shelves were getting noticeably low.
Oh.
And from there, it was self-perpetuating. Bathroom paper was suddenly the hottest commodity in town. Petrol...
That's the thing that we had to do. Imagine how ridiculous it looks.
Perpetuating. Bathroom paper...
To just have to stay there, handing out a pack of toilet paper to just one individual. Imagine how sad it must feel. I was very lucky that I was living on my own already at the time. That I didn't have to experience the shame of seeing something like this, but man.
Paper was suddenly the hottest commodity in town. Petrol stations, corner stores, major chain supermarkets, everybody was out. Then, of course, photos shared on social media and broadcast on television of empty shelves just amplified.
Dude, my parents had the best time ever. They live in Spain like half the year, and the other half they come here in Denmark. And of course they have bidet down there. Fuck that shit, the paper, my arse. Quite literally. They had bidets, so no worries about freaking toilet paper.
The hysteria again.
I just want 1 pack.
To which the media said, don't buy it. But also, it is running out, but don't stock up. But who knows when new stock is coming? But don't you hoard, but it may be many weeks before you can get more. The messaging to the public was a little mixed.
You're saying to the nation this morning, Ali, stay calm, don't go and do it.
But race out there and get it so that you're not...
Then, as stock completely depleted, people were becoming desperate.
Every store I go to, every day, every city, and every hour of every day, you're gonna find completely empty shelves.
Fights broke out between those who had none and those who had too much.
Oh boy.
It was chaos in the aisles.
Round 1. Fight!
The
Australian toilet roll crisis had reached critical mass. People were threatening to shit in the store, and someone even pulled a knife.
Is enough.
The
CEO of Australia came out and said,
"It's been one of the most disappointing things I've seen in Australian behaviour in response to this crisis."
But that scolding did little to quell the frenzy. So the media published articles informing people that actually this is all fake news, and 60% of Australia's toilet paper is produced domestically. But that also didn't quell the frenzy. So supermarkets enacted a 1 pack per person rule. But frenzies cannot be quelled. And so that's when the price online soared.
Oh no.
Amazon, eBay, Gumtree, toilet paper was everywhere.
They had a monopoly on toilet paper. Are you kidding me? Hoarders. They were treating toilet paper like was it PS5s.
First for double the price. Then triple. Then things just went wild. 10 packs, single rolls, a few pieces of 3-ply, all for crazy prices. People went from selling it by the pack to selling it by the gram.
number too large.
And the rest of us who couldn't afford it had to get creative.
But that's mad. No, that's actually mad. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you just pull a rug like that. No.
But fear not, citizen. Here come the heroes. One of Australia's state newspapers swooped in with a special edition to save the day. It featured 8 blank pages at the back, just in case. By the way, this was after an Australian family had accidentally made a massive online order. They thought they were getting 48 rolls. Wrong. They were getting 48 boxes, and soon they had become the de facto royalty of Australia. They built a throne with the boxes and sat aloft it.
I found the crown of Australia in the gutter, he said, and I picked it up.
But for
wow. Good night, Em. But wow. Not all heroes wear capes. Well, that Batman definitely did. If it was a cape made out of toilet paper, then we'll be talking.
For the rest of us common folk, thievery was the only answer. We began stealing from public toilets. We began stealing from work.
A new survey has found 1 in 3 Aussies has stolen toilet paper from work to use at home.
Some started stealing from hotels, stealing from cars, stealing from the blind. Even animals were stealing. Some pretty good memes, though.
No, yo, Australia, this is wild. I know that this is a country where every single thing is trying to kill you, just per instinct, but come on.
And just as some relief was coming, oh, thank God, a new shipment. But that truck burned down.
Fire crews rescued what rolls they could. The rest left charred and soggy.
Fascinatingly, a problem which began in and was specific to Australia was soon spreading to the rest of the world, despite the circumstances being completely different.
Yeah.
In fact, stats time. In most countries, the majority of toilet paper is actually produced locally.
Yeah.
Toilet paper is cheap but bulky, meaning it's expensive to ship relative to its retail value. So domestic producers are often able to manufacture at a cost lower than their international competitors. TLDR, unless the factories in your country shut down, there isn't going to be a shortage. But shut up and panic.
No.
And so toilet paper became a highly profitable business. And that's
Hey
when
there,
organized
stranger.
criminal gangs moved in. Armed robbers in Hong Kong held a delivery driver at knife point and got away with around 600 rolls. 18,000 pounds of toilet paper was stolen from this lorry. And this, and this, and this, and many more. But it's time to move on. After about 4 weeks with consumption steady and everyone only having one ass to wipe, and supply increasing to compensate, toilet paper returned to shelves. The balance was restoring. The shops were healing. Which meant it was time to panic about something else.
Of course. Ah, fuck. Yeah, that was in fact a Mafia 2 reference, but the 5G thing. How dumb were people? Like, have you no idea of how frequencies work? Never mind, man. What am I even trying to explain here?
5G time. So you think it's a virus? That's cute. Let me fill you in on the scoop, rookie. See that tower over there?
The government.
Now look at this. Coincidence?
Yo, Lenin. The Lenin Tower. Yo, he could have made a pretty good joke here. The Lenin Tower of Stalingrad. Yeah, this was the great photoshopping skills that the Soviet had by removing people from pictures. This is the one with Lenin featured in it.
5 Gs, 5 fingers, 5 sides to a pentagram. PlayStation 5. Wow. Awful lot of coincidences lining up, wouldn't you say? And social media agreed. With these indisputable facts such as, I have headache, it was only inevitable that the word would spread like a wildfire. It was time for the 5G squad to leap into action. 5G squad! Gwyneth Paltrow, that lady from that movie, Alien. People began protesting the 5G towers.
Save lives! Hug someone! Save lives!
The 5G towers.
Save lives!
That movie.
Sorry, still signs of the sickness. Gwyneth Paltrow, the lady who has perpetuated vaginal moon rocks. Who wanted women all across the world to buy those, is the one who complains about the lady here in the middle. She's the one complaining about 5G towers? Are you serious? She's the one recommending that ladies treat the cooch with like all kind of weird medicinal remedies that she founded through her company called Goop. Absolutely insane. Yeah, Iron Man's girlfriend. Boy.
Alien. People began protesting the 5G towers.
Save lives! Hug someone! Save lives! The 5G network!
And the destruction was extensive. I had no idea really until I started digging, but in the UK, over 50 towers were vandalized or set ablaze in a single month. Reported by April, 39 servicing engineers had been attacked on the job.
You know, when they turn this on, it's going to kill everyone, and that's why they're building the hospitals?
In North Carolina, one woman just started opening fire on a couple of technicians.
No.
There were 2 workers up on the tower when the shots rang out. A 3rd worker on the ground ran up into this area, and that's where he called for help.
The 2 men were okay, but when police came, she armed herself with 2 axes and barricaded herself in her home.
Did you shoot at a cell tower worker, ma'am?
She's out on bond and she's had the weapons confiscated.
New 5G. Stimulate your senses.
In Auckland, New Zealand, at least a dozen 5Gs have been vandalized or set ablaze.
Mysterious fires have hit 15 cell towers in the last 6 weeks.
In the Netherlands, 16. Reports of more in Ireland, Cyprus, and Belgium. Counter-terrorist police are getting involved in Australia, and 7 cell tower fires in Montreal, Canada.
See, this is one of the reasons as to why I sometimes, despite the fact that I really dislike when the news does this, that they really should continue having the type of segments where they break things down to freaking atoms, so that the average man can understand the basics of what certain technology do. Like you will hear people like say, oh, we have this new trending stuff, but people don't know what it does. It is sad enough to know that people don't know what frequency is and what at which amplitude it can actually harm you. But it should be said. It's unfortunate that it should be said. For some reason, and I mean, it kind of depends on how the education is in different places, but people don't retain that information. It is certainly taught in school. I know this because I have attended teaching lessons on how to be a teacher, and they do go through these things. It's part of the pensum. But nobody ever remembers this, and it causes mass hysteria, especially thanks to social media that never takes into account the veracity of things. But yeah, let's keep moving. It's kind of sad, but man, it is funny.
Although, one big problem. How do you tell 5G from the regular Gs?
You strap yourself in and feel the G's!
Well, it's not actually that easy for the untrained eye. Most of the destroyed towers were actually just regular ones, carrying essential 2 to 4G network infrastructure, causing outages for emergency services and the public. Naturally, YouTube and Facebook started cracking down on the 5G conspiracy groups and banning everyone, and the movement has gone somewhat underground. Oh my god, they're in on it. Alongside false causes came false cures. No vaccine yet? No problem. Here's a list of placebos that'll get you patched up. High-dose infusions of vitamin C, silver solution, touching your TV, kissing a shrine, spiritual vaccines, plant sap in the eye, special mattress, cow urine, cow dung, camel urine, a cotton ball soaked in violet oil in the anus, miracle mineral solution, drinking fish tank cleaner, eating fruit that looks like the virus, treatment packs, toothpaste, the biocharger NG subtle energy platform TM, vegetarianism, virus shutout protection pendants, healthy living, radionics machine, schwang stringlang ganglion, injecting house cleaner, hand cream, garlic, banoon.
Oh no, so yeah, somebody did point out that I actually was mistaken in my Brennan reaction about this thing, that it was actual bleach that Trump referred to people to consume. Like, what the hell? I was under the assumption that it was because it had reached Danish news that hydroxychloroquine was something that was made use of by many people, but it was highly not recommended to use because it was not something that was tested truly. But man, I was mistaken.
News, alcohol, water, ginger, lemon, mangoes, durian, onions. It's everything. Everything and anything is apparently a cure. But who needs cures? I've got something better. Add time.
Hey.
Soon. Soon we will be together.
They are ready for you, Mr. VPN.
Welcome back. Today we're looking at NordVPN. Gather round, everyone. Here's my girlfriend. Well, a friend. She's my girlfriend, but I'm not her boyfriend. It's complicated. Point is, she doesn't use NordVPN. If she did, she could access international catalogs from her favorite streaming services. Oh shit, get down. Now let's pretend that this window is her computer security. Look how easily I can just snatch up all their data. Oh, jackpot. If she had used NordVPN, we wouldn't be looking at all her personal photos. Hey, look at this one. Oh shit, we're busted. Everyone, cheese it. Oh, nice. Now imagine this was you. And imagine this was a 3-year plan with 70% off plus a 3 extra month.
Bruh.
He won't stop. I need to buy tickets and leave the country. Oh no. No, not again.
What is your kaiju?
Wi-Fi isn't safe. Encrypt your browsing with your VPN.
Taxi.
No sweat. I can see from her browsing history that she is going to Japan.
Finally. Some peace. There's no way he can find me here in Japan.
Really? At Airbnb's Wi-Fi? Don't you know how dangerous that is? Also, there's access to international content.
How did he find me? No,
No, not a pit of snake.
Snake pit.
Bruh. He's so unpredictable with his ads. I love it. Oh, nanda kure, snake pit.
VPN でデータを保護する。
This wouldn't have happened if you would NordVPN.
これは起こりませんでした。
The supply chain.
The lockdown had some interesting carryovers on the agricultural sector. Let's talk about the sexy topic of food supply. You can roughly break goods into 2 categories.
Oh, this man passed away. The honest job guy. Another meme that we've lost to time.
Commercial and retail. With all the restaurants and a ton of manufacturing shut down, the commercial side came to a grinding halt. Half of the stock had nowhere to go.
Maybe we could just send it to the supermarkets. No can do. You have to repackage, process, and deliver all of that stuff before the new expiration date and with a limited workforce. Then you'd have to get the supermarkets to agree to take all that extra stock.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, people aren't going to simply buy twice as many groceries. So either it rots on the shelves or the price drops below cost. What's the point?
Woohoo! Cheap meat!
So there's a big surplus. The supply chain had broken.
Whoa.
By week 1 of the lockdown, farmers all around the country are looking at their billions of dollars of quickly expiring crop with no one to take it from them. And they know that by next week, they'll have double that amount.
And so many were complaining about the why they couldn't just give it away to, for example, homeless people. We had a certain service where we actually had it planned so that we actually have a service here called Too Good To Go to make sure that things don't go to waste, that people could call in if they actually wanted to. Through going through all those sanitary means, we have to package and prepare for them to come and pick up. So it was that was at least the effort that we did in our grocery store. It was very popular, so it actually managed to get rid of most of the waste at the time. I appreciated that we did that, but many people were concerned about, again, what will happen if somebody gets sick? A company will get sued if food is donated away. And of course, the means of transporting all of that food to different places. So that's why, on our ends, we decided to have people actually come to our store to pick the stuff up. The Clarkson's farm.
Okay. Sandra, how many eggs do we eat a week? I don't know, probably 10? Why? That means our leftovers are going to be about 750,000 eggs. Well, I don't want 750,000 chickens. I guess there's only one thing to do. So the farmers began neutralizing their crops.
Target neutralized.
It was a slaughter.
Oh, my cabbages!
Millions of pounds of onions were buried alive in Idaho. Farmers stopped making grain and started making donuts. Donuts on their tractors all over the field, turning everything to compost. Cabbages were being ravaged. The potatoes weren't being atoed. Boo.
I have potato blood in my veins.
Squash were being compressed. The dairy farmers of America estimated that 3.7 million gallons of milk were being dumped every day. Oh, he needs some milk. But once the farmers had destroyed their crops, of course, they had to immediately plant new ones, because demand could come back and you wouldn't want to get caught a whole crop cycle behind the market. So the cycle would repeat and repeat and repeat until everything returned to normal.
That's a little waste. Just think about the amount of greenhouse gases that are produced
Zoom.
there.
So everyone was locked in their houses. But work, school, and life had to carry on.
What's 9 plus 10?
And that's
21.
where Zoom came in. Simple to use, able to host up to 100 people per meeting. Millions moved over to Zoom and it skyrocketed to #1 in the App Store.
And they did that for free for quite some time, and then they, of course, it started charging people for it.
Companies and educational institutions all jumped on the Zoom train too. Why not? It was so easy. All you needed was the room key. Even the boomers could use it. Can you see my dog? Tee. Look, I can change the background.
Yeah. Oh my god, did he fall?
These are some of my friends from high school.
Come on. Let's be honest. The background removal feature was pretty good. I might have the one that I used to use back then somewhere here. It was pretty funny. I had one that was let me see. Perhaps I can find it. Virtual background. Come on. Is it? Oh, okay, it's not here. I will put it into the video. I have one where you like sit in a spaceship attacked by the coronavirus. It was actually given to some of us by this digital artist. Literally, the guy who created the NFT boom, a guy called Beeple. He gave it to people like myself who were like aspiring at working with what's it called? Digital art. It was kind of weird. At least one of the good things that he did.
Okay. Okay, everyone. I'll see you on Wednesday.
But many weren't used to having a camera pointed at them for long periods. Some even forgot they were being watched.
Oh no.
Or didn't know that the camera had turned on at all.
Oh, your video is on.
And then someone had a brilliant idea. What if I just published this room key online?
I know, Zoom bombing.
Let them know.
Dude, I've been in this thing for a while. No one said anything.
Hi, Mr. Knob. Are you joining us? Do you have a breastfeeding question?
Am I bugging or is fucking Mary dead right now, bro?
It's good to see you again.
And what if I gave it to one of my favorite online creators? Perhaps some of the greatest live stream content to ever grace this humble platform.
Too mad.
Take out your number 2 pencils. It's time to learn.
Who is this?
I am Ashashamya from Wuhan University.
Too mad. Who let you in?
Hey guys, this is Chris.
Hey guys, this is Joe Nuts.
Are you in my class?
Yes, I am transfer student from Onyengun Village.
A transfer student from, where do you say?
From Onyengun Village. So what are we learning today? Does anyone want to tell me I come to class late? And no one wants to tell me why? Why? Tell me reason.
You're in the wrong section there, brother.
I'm part of Zoom. I'm an employee of Zoom.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to press Alt and F4 at the same time.
No.
To fix your room because it's currently public.
I don't do that.
You guys want to start the next revolution in America. We hope. I mean, we can definitely use one.
Revolution. I like the sound of that.
How do you get it?
It was Hunter. Hunter let me in. Hunter, why did you do this? Yes, it was. Don't nod your. Don't do that with your head. No,
Man,
you
that's-
did.
Who are you?
What do you mean? Who am I? I'm a dead all sauce, and you.
That's so dumb. Yo, Too Mad went on a weird arc last year, actually. I don't know if he sort of went crazy, but the dude... I mean, he was fun for a moment, but... Whew.
You let me through the gate!
Who the heck is it? Oh my god, what the...
I don't think there is a realistic way where they could do anything about it.
What's 2 plus 4?
2 plus...
21.
All right, I'm gonna wrap up this thoughts about Natalie's story.
History class. Oh hell yeah!
And he's lost an election twice. He's
like so confused. He saw the cock and he was like, "What?"
Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about it now. Okay. So, you guys can open up. I'll give you a minute or two to open up. Robert, take that off your screen.
Robert's gonna get some trouble. Robert's probably in his room right now, just fucking freaking out. It's like, it's not me.
I don't know about this one,
Robert,
Chief.
baby. Robert, how could you?
But then they had a whole bunch of controversies, and a number of schools and companies stopped using the platform.
Yeah.
RIP. Even though the stock price keeps going up.
Nature. This was the best thing coming out of COVID. Like, people were thinking for a moment, at least myself. I was thinking, yes, finally. People will realize that they actually don't need to travel all the time, going to like other countries and just enjoying staying at home, nature, at least for one summer. Like, I enjoy traveling, don't get me wrong. It's some of the best thing ever, going out to visit new cultures and stuff, having new experiences. But you can also have that locally. Just be a bit more inventive. That's actually something that some people try to mitigate here by making some like museum visits for free. Like boat travel was also free to a certain degree. And nature enjoyed it. Damn, like... local canals in our area became actually clean. You could see the bottom of them. That just speaks volume of how well this pandemic was for nature.
With people locked in their homes, nature was allowed to return to the unoccupied streets. The healing had begun.
Real happy world.
Satellite imagery showed pollution levels dropping everywhere. The canals of Venice were changing from their usual feculent brown to a vibrant blue, as boats were docked and silt could resettle. From their windows, residents could see fish, algae, and other sea life return to the waters. But that wasn't all. Animals saw the free real estate and began migrating into the cities and towns. Sheep and whales took back the town and ruled over it with an iron hoof. Hungry monkeys in Thailand took to the city square as the tourists who usually fed them disappeared. Giant ducks were seen in London. Alligators in Florida were once again using the roads. Rats in New Orleans were... No, that's normal. Otters in Singapore. Oh my god. Are we the virus?
Human beings are a disease.
That is profound. Dude. Maybe we were the real corona all along. Nature returned to New York for the first...
Corona was all the friends we made along the way. Mr. Anderson, take notes.
First time since it was established in 65 million BC. We even had a good fake out on an extinct species, the Malabar civet, which hasn't been seen for 30 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Fake. Although it turns out it was just a regular, sick Indian civet. Scooters were returning to the riverways. Nilgai? Haven't heard of that. Cows had begun returning to the ocean. Cats was seen by some in London to a limited audience. Sambar were incorrectly using zebra crossings. And giraffes had returned to the cities.
No.
Nature is healing.
Don't do that.
Namaste. Anyway, I'm busy. That's the lesson. Here's a multi-tool. Good luck out there. Please close the door behind you. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh my god. Is this Mars? This is one hell of a twist. I know, right? Oh my god, it's Elon Musk. Yes. A double twist. Welcome home, X-A13.
Oh my god, it's a triple twist!
Directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It all showed us some aspect of nature can heal quickly. Yeah, once mankind is gone. Yeah, or we can work with it to help boost the process. But it's true. Nature will rectify its course once we're gone. And that's that. These pandemics haven't happened like every 100 years. That's the argument that some people will always say, like, this is a regular thing. It's just like the typical flu. While they do, it's important that we get informed about these things so that we don't make the wrong decisions like we did last time. Again and again. Okay, before we get to part 2 here, I want to say something from my boy Geopold. He has one video here that might be a little bit interesting for some individuals. Josh Carlin. Boy, The man was a great comedian, but also very profound with some of his speech. But we have a video here by Geopold on intelligence. He has made some videos in the past comparing the US and Europe. Something that can be a little bit annoying for some people to hear, but I think they're fun. We had some fun watching some of the previous ones. He has shit very much on Scandinavia, on Denmark. And the last few videos comparing the US and Europe were the one on Christmas and the last one with, what was it? Christmas and food. Yes, breakfast and stuff like that. Very interesting. Now, this time we're dealing with intelligence. It's a very short one, and let's check this one out. Who is clever, US or Europe? I want to say Europe, just for my personal bias, but we might be surprised. But that's not what the thumbnail is saying. All right. See ya, man. Thank you for being here.
If you...
Oh, that was a bit quick.
If you've been on the internet in the last 2 years, you've probably come across videos like these.
Can you name any country on this map?
Yeah. Africa?
What country did the Vietnam War happen in?
Canada. Can you name a country on this map?
Asia or Africa?
That's a continent.
Oh. So where's Jamaica?
Yeah, somewhere around like here.
So what's the deal? Are Americans really the ignorant dum-dums the internet presents them as?
Look, I know that a lot of these videos are cherry-picked, but man, it's not like some of these people actually seem uneducated. It's not like you pick somebody from a trashy party or like some area in Miami or some hillbilly location that you might expect are either drunken or too out of their mind to actually make a sound, to give you a sound answer. They look like all of us. The fact that they are just so very ill-informed is kind of sad.
Or is this just a case of stereotyping and nitpicking for clout? Well, firstly, I want to make it very clear. I've met many Brits who couldn't name shit about European, American, or just the world's general history. Same with geography. I'd bargain that most UK citizens couldn't point out North Macedonia on a map. And I'd say at least 30% of Europeans don't know what Idaho is. That being...
Wasn't it pronounced Idaho? No, he's right though. Like, if you were to be questioning anybody on the American continent, they might not be aware at all. They will not let you know about anything about the Ohio situation either. They don't know. I mean, I think when it comes to the points of geography, that might be fair. It's only like freedom boos like myself, like very much fans of American culture, or people who have been traveling around that would be aware of this. Oh no, we didn't check the Warhammer parody yet.
Being said, I won't lie, there is a bit of an American self-glazing problem that leads to them coming across as a bit narrow-minded. And I kind of get it, okay? The other day I was getting some of my tax shit sorted out. Oh my god, man. I get it. I fucking get it, guys. If I was out here paying them Louisiana tax brackets, I would probably dick ride my country as well. However, this low-tax, high personal spending policy that some American states have kind of means if you're well off, you can go to a good school guaranteed. But if you're poor, you're stuck going to a public school, which might be fine in some states, but like, bruh.
Oh, Louisiana schools. Isn't it the state that I heard that they were very, very bad at reading? I'm more or less certain that is the case. Hold on a minute. I have to do a little bit of an internet search here. We ended up in a weird discussion, some friends of mine, because of the whole unfortunate situation with the US and the school shootings. And we talked about like the level of education that some are subjected to. And can I find that somewhere. Let me see. Perhaps I can find it in my internet search history. Louisiana. But it was something like the Louisiana reading levels were very subpar on a national level. Debating over holding back third graders rule state legislature. Blah, blah, blah. No, this is not the one. Like, there was actually like a very long 10-page piece on that. But obviously, don't want to read it. Just wanted to show you the article and remind myself of exactly what it was about. But yeah, it was very bad. You want to see my search history? No. Friendly average Floridian here. Florida State's public school system is absolute asinine. Also, this is the state where they are trying to ban books, isn't it? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, our kids cannot read properly. And our teachers are very much underfunded. Let us remove books from them so that they don't have access to actual literature. System in general is god awful. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And that's the thing that he mentioned here in the video. Like, if you're rich, obviously you're gonna have access to all of these things. If you don't have the means for it, you're fucked. But what kind of a system is that?
Dude, coming to school, you had a huge zit on you. That thing was heavy. Some of them, dude, I had acne so bad one time, I remember having one zit. It was kind of heavy on the side of my face. Like, damn, I couldn't even, I had to have one of my buddies kind of just pull down on my other ear, you know, just to keep my head straight. Because I had that heavy Z, baby, that big zitty, that baked ziti on my side. I was fully Italian, that, you know, that little bust lump, that acne, that...
Yo, Theo Vaughn is weird. I like his comedy, but god damn it, his stories are always very much out there.
Obviously, bad public schooling only affects a certain fraction of the American population, but I feel like it's this fraction of Americans that Europeans make fun of, call stupid, and stereotype as the entire country. Those inbred fucking brainless hillbillies running around like animals with their machine guns and freedom. But let's be real, these people aren't crazy rednecks. They seem pretty normal. Why can none of them tell me where Asia is on a map?
That would be Asia.
No, that's Africa.
Why can none of them seem to grasp the concept of a country?
What country is the Queen of England from?
What is the country again? What is a country? What is a country? Canada.
What's...
No. It's in the word. I know that this is cherry picked, but still. Come on. The number of countries that properly fund their education system. Yeah, not much. I think if you want to be very objective about it, there's a thing called the PISA score. It's like a representative for many, for like school grading system on different things. Usually it's math and literature that it's is scored on. Let me see, the PISA score. I think that, not to brag here, Denmark and a lot of European countries are pretty high up there, although we've been decreasing over the last few years. Many are blaming social media for it. I don't think that's it. I think there are a lot of arbitrary things that are taken into account into testing kids and the faculties for learning. And I don't think that this is like the be-all and end-all when you see like a PISA score. That being said, it's a very good indicator towards which direction things are moving. Let's see here, summary PISA result of 2022. So preparing students for a changing world. Amidst an unprecedented performance drop, some education system bucked the trend. Let's see. Do we have anything here about countries? Blah, 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 blah. Perhaps not. PISA score of 2024 by countries. Okay, highest ranking. We have, obviously, China. They don't have anything there that is going to stunt the development because they are doing all of this for the state. Singapore, obviously. Estonia. Estonia is always doing well in this. Japan. We know about the learning culture in Japan. Canada. That's the American neighbors. God damn, they are high up there. Taiwan. Finland. Obviously. Finland, the happiest country in the world. Poland. Ireland, Slovenia, the UK, New Zealand, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Belgium. Okay, now the United States is coming on the 22nd space. Okay, we're actually doing pretty well now. The US has been ranking up, I think, in comparison to some scores from the previous year. So that's good. But, like, you're not number one. And France is actually not doing good. Whoa. Iceland is low. But again, see, this is not that bad. It's not like you're so far behind the scale if you're American, right? There are way worse countries. Yet still, in comparison to what could have been, it's not like the tip top.
Aside from these videos being relatively nitpicked, I think the main reason for Americans' general ignorance about other countries and cultures kind of comes down to how the American media presents the rest of the world to Americans. American film studios can simply make so much more money if they make foreign things seem more familiar to an American audience.
True.
I guess it makes it easier to understand and buy into and be invested in, you know? For example, I bet Mamma Mia would have flopped if they had bulky, hairy Greek actors with thick Greek accents, as opposed to the chiseled white American Hollywood celebrities they casted. It's set in fucking Greece. Not a word of Greek is spoken in the entire film. I mean, they even dub over all the original songs, which are sung with Swedish accents, with relatable American sounding voices, you know? And surprise, surprise, it became the 6th highest grossing film in the US. If they kept this film Swedish and Greek, they would have sold 0 copies, I'm telling you. This intentional America washing of foreign cultures is all throughout Hollywood. Whenever a film is set abroad, the main character still has an American accent. I mean, they even make foreign actors change their voices, even if their American accents are horrible.
What's up with that boy? I heard he was out the game.
Of course he had to take Idris Elba and The Wire. That's like one of the quintessential examples to always bring forth. That's fair. I get it. Yeah, well, that's pretty much true. When you are like taking away all of the foreign things from foreign places, then why do we care? Like, it's a continent that is massive, that has just about any resources. There's no need for you to go outside. At least that's the perception that is given.
You got heat?
I guess because it would be so catastrophic for the film studio's revenue if there was a strand of foreign culture in their blockbuster productions.
That's why it was such a big thing when that movie Parasite won the Oscars for foreign films. It wasn't a thing before, so it was quite the achievement.
This very subtle brainwashing has big consequences for the average American though. For example, less than 40% of them have a valid passport. Partly because if you don't see any value or have never been taught anything about foreign cultures, why would you leave the US? We got every single natural landscape you could ever imagine. We got every goddamn fast food establishment you could ever dream of. We got every culture here already. We got every historical site and element you could ever fathom. The difference with us Europeans, aside from on average having more well-funded public schools, is that we literally need to know about foreign cultures, because chances are the weather gets so peak at some point in the year that you need to annually travel to another country briefly just to find your will to live, and so
That's true.
Survive another year. Whereas
that winter depression hits hard. Like if you don't have like strength enough or like people around you to truly give you that love, the winter will crush you. And thus you just need to reload, recharge a lot during the summer.
Americans can just get a flight to the other side of their country. No new language, no new culture, no crazy visa restrictions. It's not that easy if you live in the UK. And
okay, I want to say that was quite true. If you live in freaking Boston and you go down south, I don't think that people are going to freaking understand you. Those accents are just as foreign as they are a new country.
this is why British people are so obsessed with going on holiday, because they're all stuck on this cold-ass rainy island, and humans actually need vitamin D to survive. This means your average Brit at least looks at a map once a year when planning the next lad's getaway, which is probably more often than some Americans look at a map. Clearly.
What's your country's border to the US? What's like the country above us and below us?
South America, North America.
All hope is lost. A man just says South America, North America. What are you in for a continent, my dude? Come now. That's why sometimes when you have like North Americans coming to Europe, they are so very quick at claiming, no, we are Canadians. Don't want to be associated with our brethren, and if they even got the chance, if they come from Quebec, they start speaking French, and then we just automatically assume that, oh, they are not that kind. It's so dumb, man. Oh boy.
In supermarkets, everybody.
Oh, that's the internet store in video again. Where was that Warhammer animation? Psychic Scream for ice cream. Okay. This is from the channel Voxcast to Nowhere. They made a meme video for Warhammer characters. I want to check this out. All right.
Hurt so
Do it in the split screen there, I think. It's better.
much.
What ails you, number 12? I mean...
Oh, it's better.
I want to say Aaron.
It's Angron, Dad. It's these damn butcher's nails. They're hurting me.
Well, they do tend to do that, even to the squishiest skulls. I'm surprised you haven't killed any of the palace staff yet.
That is because Lionel sends me a steady supply of Caliban Green. But I haven't had a new delivery in a few weeks now.
I don't even have the patience to unpack all of that. But how about we have some ice cream? That is what creators do with their pained creations, is it not?
Do you mean fathers and their children?
Let's not get too hasty now, number 12.
The language
but
used
if that
there.
is the analogy you want to use, then by all means, use it.
Oh?
How is your ice cream?
I'm lactose intolerant.
Then why the devil did you let me prepare the ice cream?
Because I thought you had the non-dairy kind that Ferris gets. And you wouldn't stop ranting about your godless utopia.
You know, I'm lactose intolerant as well.
And you were going to eat the ice cream?
Ha! No, I wasn't. I was going to psychically project myself eating it.
Oh, I see.
Oh boy, that's the Emperor's parental. He's so distant, like he can't even share ice cream with his son.
So, the butcher's nails. That is a hardship I can only fathom, number 12. Do you know who else suffered hardship through nails? Jesus.
Isn't he a movie character?
Oh, what a fellow he was. Always so humble, yet paradoxically full of himself.
And that doesn't remind you of anyone?
But despite that, I remember our time together. He would wax poetic about loving your neighbor or some hippie shit I can't recall. I preferred good old-fashioned conquest. That's how you achieve true peace, number 12.
So, do you have any dairy-free ice cream, Dad?
He's still hung up on that. When it comes to Warhammer 40k, I haven't been following up a lot on the lore recently. I actually haven't gotten any of the new books. I saw that there was some good things about Belisarius Cole and Fabius Bile and stuff like that. I should really get back to it. I just haven't had the time. I think that the biggest things have been regarding the Warhammer TV show. Some recent interviews with Henry Cavill and stuff has been making the rounds. But beside that, I unfortunately don't have the widest clue, to be honest.
We were such good friends in the beginning. But one day, I just had it with him. I could not stomach him or his gang of cronies anymore. Especially Peter, that ball-sucking bitch.
Peter Turbo.
I feel like you're about to tell me something really unhinged.
We were having a supper. It was going so smoothly, except the wine was shit. But Peter chose it, so fuck it, I guess. And then John got baked lamb, and I was stuck with pot roast. I fucking loathe pot roast, number 12.
Well, Ferris makes some pretty good pot roast.
Shut up. Anyway, Jesus just blurts out of nowhere that this was going to be his last meal. That one of us would betray him and get him crucified. Well, I took that personally.
But he didn't say you were the traitor.
Ah, but I was the traitor, Aaron.
You
see, I had a theory about my sandal-wearing compatriot. I had the strongest of hunches that he was like me, that he was a psyker. So, I went to some random priests. They gave me some silver, which I used to buy a donkey named Horus, and plotted to get Jesus arrested.
But why the fuck did you do that?
Do what? Why did I name him Horus? Well, there was this dream I had where I saw this bald...
No, you snitch. Why did you betray Jesus? He was such a nice man.
He was too nice, Aaron. Always healing the sick, raising the dead, lecturing people on how to coexist and be kind to everyone, regardless of whether they're Xenos, filth, or mutants. And he was anti-war, too.
You can't have that in the Warhammer 40k, my dude. That's literally against the Emperor's motive. He wants a never-expanding war. So, yeah, Jesus was quite the antithesis to his plan.
Probably could have cured these damn nails in my head.
Yes, he most likely could have, but too late for that. Anyway, for a moment during the supper, I was considering cancelling my experiment. But because he had indirectly called me out, I refused to renege on the betrayal. So I allowed him to get arrested, and some objectively horrific things were done to him. I mean, I actually regretted what I had done once I saw what they did to him. For the first time in my life, I had felt guilt, shame, and sickness. But then they nailed him to a cross, which actually made me weep, which was strange because I didn't know I had tear ducts. But I was proven right. When he drew his last breath, he released a psychic wail that destroyed the city that had judged him and sentenced him to death.
This is so fucking depressing.
No, you know what is very depressing? Hearing that the meme that the folks that Alpha Boozer made, from what I'm reading here in the comment, that they actually had a Yu-Gi-Oh fight with cards. Are you serious? These have got to be a joke. if this is part of the newer book, then I need to read this.
Finally, to ensure my getaway, I faked my own death by using Horus as my patsy. I changed identities and made my way to Greece. Little did I realize that Jesus' death would make him even more iconic. So that really soured my grapes.
You're such a fucking monster.
Yeah, well, he got a book about him, and I got this bitchin' palace and a space empire. If I'm a monster, then I must be Godzilla.
You sold him out for a theory.
Yes, for a theory. A game theory.
Oh, fuck you.
But no, Aaron, it wasn't just that. You see, his power would only have grown more in life. He would garner more believers, which would make him better than me. I don't like competition, Aaron. I will not have it get in my way.
Why are you telling me this, you petty bitch? Why, out of all of your sons, would you tell me this?
Well, sheer convenience. I often think about the time I spent with that prophet of Nazareth, and it feels good to get that sin off of my chest. You just...
Actually, Angron's original power was that of compassion. He was supposed to be taking the burden away from people. He was very much akin to Jesus. Except the things kind of backfired now, right? With the butcher's nails and his ability adapted to the whole thing about pain and anger. Quite the unfortunate situation. Oh, the Emperor's Tarot card. Okay, now that makes a bit more sense.
Happen to be within proximity. Also, you're the only one of the Primarchs with a deteriorating brain, so it'll be easier to wipe your mind of this conversation.
You bastard!
Slumber number 12!
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
And that's why I think you should utilize plastic instead of resin for that model kit, just to be on the safe side.
No, you're right. I think I'll save the resin for Eidolon's birthday.
What happened?
Oh, hey, there he is. Good morning, sleepyhead.
Ronnie, Bud, you must have been exhausted. You joined the call snoring somehow.
I don't remember anything from last night. I don't even remember coming back to the Conqueror. I just have this feeling of dread. Maybe it was just a bad dream.
Well, you've got us, little brother. You know we won't let the bad dreams get to you. How about we watch some Dragon Ball to cheer you up?
Well, okay. Can we watch the Broly movie?
Yeah, so fitting.
Of course we can, bud.
Damn. Ferris is such a nice guy in all this. He's the best brother to have. Yeah, well, because you couldn't remove them. You couldn't remove the butcher's nails. That would have killed him automatically. I think that part of it was that, yeah, I think that that ability still was manifested somehow through it. That it was siphoning the pain from people, right? Horus, pool of pot of greed. Like the tales about how he was actually taking the pain away from his fellow gladiators because he was kept as a slave for entertainment, and his companions that were with him and his dog, he would relieve their pains when they slept. But yeah, the Angel of Death is now powerful enough to split planets in two, so that's, I guess, another convenience with becoming a demon of corn. One of his champions, so that's a good thing. Alright, what do we have here on the other end of things? Can I launch this game now? Helldivers. Let's see if it actually works. And they have like the weirdest anti-cheat installed there. Well, the cheapest one that you can get on the market. I mean, it's fine. That's what I want to do. And what do you know? Connection error. We still cannot enter the game. How is the game so popular when you cannot play it? How? Should watch the abridged series of Death Note. Oh, there is one for this one too. Didn't know that. Yeah, isn't it a sad state? Like, you can't buy a new title and expect things to work well. We're talking about like very, very good reputable companies like From Software. Capcom sometime even have fumbled that. You know what? I'm gonna ask for a refund for this one. It literally cannot be that you pay for the full price for a game and then you can't even play it. That's so bad. But guys, I think that I'm gonna cut it now. For today, I'm feeling a little bit too tired to continue. I will get some sleep, and videos should be coming out tomorrow again. I have recorded some stuff, and I can finally edit again. So I think this is going to be it for today. I've gotten used to waiting 5 years to play a game anyway. You know what? That might be the strategy that I will employ in the future. Understand why people who have grown up playing, at least who have grown up developing an audience of just like boomer shooters, are really much enjoying gaming, because these are the ones that at least on the functional level are very good. And there's a huge backlog of old titles to play there. That might be the thing to do in the future. But guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. It was very fun. Oh, many kudos. Cool. Yeah, we will check that next time. That'll be interesting. I still haven't watched his Bethesda video though. That one should be quite crazy too. But yeah. I hope that you all have a wonderful day for those of you who are already up and are going to work or doing anything else. And those of you who are going to sleep, sleep well. Have a nice night. And I see you guys next time. Okay? Bye-bye. Oh. Palworld, I need to finish this one too. And Outriders has an update. That game is still alive. It's wonderful. Alright guys, I see ya.